I'd say AI it's technology that thinks like a human without the complexity of a human mind.
Basically everywhere. I mean, Google uses it to like have search results. I use it on my Google Assistant, on my Alexa, on my Siri. It's used in a lot of like basic like business stuff, like CarMax. I know they like when you look up cars, it uses AI to like seat the car images, like their little thumbnails. So it's kind of vaguely everywhere.
I had a project this year on detecting Russian propaganda with it, and a lot of it's coming from one specific company, OpenAI, with their model, the GPT system. ChatGPT is completely free for everyone, and many students and honestly everyone across the world is using it for many different things, some of which can be class assignments.
Using those tools is like it's an easy way to get things done when you already know how to do it. It's a way that you meet that deadline or you get that idea as a foundation. But if you're using that as like the sole anchor of your project, like you're not using your skills. You're just using fake skills of a computer. And then when that computer gets taken away, the biggest issue is that kids are left with nothing. So I think that really this AI doesn't have a place in the actual learning model. It more so has a place in like the post-learning when you're just trying to use it to get your work done.
Since ChatGPT came out, OpenAI released it and it's free and everyone can use it. There's been a lot of like introduction of into a workflow. There's a lot of like teachers who are worried about it being used for the concept of cheating. But unless it's math, it usually can't be used very well for cheating because the data is not very up to date. What it can be used very well for is like helping you outline your workflow. Like if you need a study guide for a topic or if you need ideas for an essay, it's a very good tool to like quickly iterate. So it's kind of becoming a staple in like how we work.
So first of all, it is a possibility. I'm sure people have already started using it for this purpose. But it isn't the most accurate for essays. For one big reason is that the AI just likes to lie a lot. It will just pull up false information. I one time had it bring up reports on a specific topic. Half the reports were fake, and the other half had names attached that did not work on them. Unfortunately, it's trained to go and give an answer, not find an answer. And with essays, I have found that it will just give false information in order to go and complete the essay prompt. So it just simply cannot be used by itself with an essay because it will inevitably give a false response. It will take some time for students to understand how to use this properly, like a calculator, rather than as I would say, a crutch to lean on.
I think that the biggest difference between our generation and the generations before is that now everything moves so much quicker. You don't have the time after school to, spend 2 hours going to the library looking at these books because, it's extracurriculars, it's these clubs, it's I got to keep up with everyone around me because everything's so digital. And I think it's like more of a personal thing where it's like, yeah, you can stay away from that technology and you can do things by the book the way that's been done, but then it's like you get left behind because you may not want to use that technology, but everyone else is. It's, I don't know, you have to kind of like balance it, but I think that when it makes things move faster, then you get ideas quicker. For example, if you have an essay and you're like, I need some ideas about this. If it gives you a list of ideas, you take one and you run with it and you use your ideas and you make, the best piece of writing ever. And it's like, you just couldn't think of it in that moment. Maybe, you had a lot of stuff. You just needed that idea, but then you produce that amazing piece of writing. Yeah, it helps you, but it didn't do it for you. So I definitely think that using it as an aid is extremely helpful.
It's good for a student because I feel like it's just another tool at our disposal. It's just a new version of spell check. Like students before spell check, students made grammar mistakes and it was very hard to find them. But now spell check's like a normal day it's integrated into everything. AI is much similar. Like it seems like a very powerful tool that helps you like fix things that you couldn't imagine fixing before. But it's being integrated very slowly and it's becoming a staple. So it's very good for us because it helps us like make things more efficient, same way spell check would.
Also a good example, I have to bring back the calculator, so I can do sine, cosine, and tangent with it, and I have forgotten how to do that on paper. But in a real-world application, I'm never going to go do it on paper. I'm just going to pull it up on a computer. So I feel that if we have AI that can teach small basics and let people bridge them together, it should not be a big issue.
I think this is a very era-changing technology. The same way the internet got rid of a lot of jobs and got a lot of new ones, this AI is going to do absolutely the same thing. A lot of data analysis will probably be out, and data analysis jobs will probably be gone very soon because it's just so much easier to plug metric tons of data into AI and just have it do it for you. But at the same time, there's going to be people who need to like maintain it, update it, and so it's going to create a lot of new jobs. But it definitely has changed the direction I was going in. Originally, I was going to be I was going to do like data analysis in college, and I was going to go down the data science path, and I still am. But instead of doing like data analysis, I'm actually going to go into like the AI path where I like learn about that mixed with computer science. So it's definitely changed career prospects for me.
This is wonderful because there was AI in science fiction movies in the 1980s. This is just that. There's no compromise. It is effectively a system that can go and respond to your input and come back with a unique human-like way. It's vastly better than Siri or Alexa, which is other AI systems, and I think it's a very good thing for everyone to have. It will massively improve productivity across the globe.
It's something that's inevitable. Even if I don't like it, even if a ton of people don't like it, it'll be there. So it's just something I have to get used to. And I think, though, for my career, I don't mind it being there. But once it starts, if I'm just doing my work and then it's just always chirping in my ear, that's an issue for me, definitely. And so I'm someone that loves to talk to people. I love talking to people. I love that aspect. Project management, that's something I really like. I guess the biggest fear that I have, though, is with AI assistance, it can also be sort of a mitigator in those project management type issues. So it's interesting to see, how these common jobs are going to shift with time. Because I don't think that they'll get completely ridded, but I think that the responsibilities, the roles are going to change. So some of the more interpersonal things, it'll be left on maybe the person, but then the AI will be doing all the work. And I think that it kind of discredits maybe some of the hard work that those people have put into. But overall, I definitely see it as a useful tool, but I think that it's really up to the company to know those limits. And then it just comes down to that big ethicality issue that surrounds the entire topic of AI, where it's like, who gets to decide what it does and what it doesn't do. And I think that line in particular is what would be my make or break in terms of a job, or how I would use it if I were to start my own company, because I want people to be confident that we can get that work done. Because as I mentioned earlier, there's a ton of competition. So if I were at a company, I want them to be confident that their data is secure, that our company, if they trust us, we can keep up with the rest of the competition that we have in the workforce. But at the same time, making sure that it's not overpowering our employees, myself, or just any of the basic job skills that people need.